As promised, I told you I am going to speak to the son of the soil. I'm going to speak to a poet. We're going to go into poemic sentiments. We hang out with Dr. Raduvha right here at VMC Planet Radio. Good evening, Dr. Faith Tobakale Raduvha.
Good evening, Mr. Stan. Thank you very much, Mr. Stan, for the opportunity to liaise and talk to the listeners of VMC Planet Radio. And I just want to say, friends, colleagues, and compatriots, listeners of VMC Planet Radio in South Africa, the whole of Africa, and beyond, receive my greetings this evening.
Today, in our poemic sentiments, we are talking about a poem called I Have Been There, Dr. Raduvha.
Yes, it is a poem, I Have Been There. And then before I can go to it, I just want to repeat what I said last week, that I am Dr. Tobakale, Faith Tobakale Raduvha. In this platform, I'm a poemic sentimentalist. I combine elements of experience, information, mental thoughts, and memories, feelings, emotions, and express them through poems.
We express them through poems, and you also told us that you don't just write willy-nilly. There has to be something that has to happen, which is called inspiration. Dr. Raduvha, are you going to tell us what inspiration you had while writing I've Been There?
Okay, before I come to that, I just want to share this little motivation. It is a representative statement and inclusive of you and me and the listeners, and then of VMC Planet Radio. When I'm using I, the I here is representative. It is all inclusive. If you want to know me and my origin, don't search for my birth certificate or in my birth certificate. It will only show you through whom I clocked in, the time and the date when I clocked in, and where I clocked in when I arrived on Earth. I'm not defined by the birth certificate and things. Past, present, and future don't define me. The fact that I'm a black Jew, member of Venda, doesn't define me. The fact that I'm an African, and a South African in particular, doesn't define me. The fact that I'm a male and not a female has nothing to do with my definition. The fact that I am a preacher and a doctor of leadership and management, that doesn't define me. Organizations I affiliated to don't define me. And the fact that I'm a poemic sentimentalist, music writer, and a faith witness doesn't define me. Therefore, don't define me. I have been defined already. When I say that it is inclusive, it simply means the same applies to you listeners of VMC Planet Radio. The same applies to any person who is listening to me tonight. And then you have to say to yourself, don't define me or to others, because you have been defined already.
You have been defined already.
Yep. And so, should I go ahead to my best poemic sentiments?
Exactly. So I have been there. Let's go, Dr. Raduvha.
Thank you very much. It's one of my best poemic sentiments. It's number 17. I have been there when fear began to mold, manifest and festing itself around my scrawny neck, played me like a piano, in the hands of an expert. I have been there. I have been there alone, me, myself, and I, heard the voice again, gently encouraging me to launch into the deep as a vessel of gold, but through fear of commitment, as a phobia of some sort, I backstrode into indecision. I have been there. I have been there, afraid to face the world, as if I had committed the unpardonable sin, withdrawing my life's activities, reserved myself in a cocoon, nursing self-pity and medicating shame. I have been there. I have been there when the devil did his worst. I became a silent accomplice, failed to dare the devil. I should have vowed to do my best, thereby compelling him to acknowledge defeat, breaking his power and influence over me. I have been there. I have been there when the demonic world celebrated victory over my calling, my love life, my children, my wealth, and my health. Like Job, I lost everything. Job lost through fear and test, and I lost through apathy, willful and unwillful ignorance, disobedience and fear. I have been there. I have been there when I was required to stand in the gap to defend my children, my newly remixed love life, and my assignment. I stood like Shammah, who single-handedly defended the field against enemies of progress. Shammah won, I failed. Alas, like Samson, I rose to fight like before. Only wishes overtook me. His eyes were gouged. Mine are still intact, but were blinded. I have been there. I have been there hiding from and bearing the sensitive and the vulnerable side, ultimately revealing itself through importune, entertaining a gift of suspicion in the name of wisdom in matters that truly matter. Fear of commitment, happiness in business happens within, or it happens in business, happens within relationships where a partner holds back, refusing to give himself fully, always wearing protective shields. I have been there. I have been there, never wanting people to know me, except what is in me, using the gift, hiding behind it, afraid for anyone to come close. It happened to the best and the worst of us, great and small, average and the excellent. It happened to Job, attracted what he feared, even questioned God. I have been there. I have been there. I lost when I was supposed to win. I gave in and gave up because of fear. That notorious, corrosive killer of mankind and womankind, burying them whilst they still live. I have been there. I have been there, witnessed my life going down. As a willing partner to this crime, pulling down to the level, the very bottom, where those who are down and out laugh at you to scorn because I was downer than them. I have been there. I have been there a long, short time ago. It is a restless place to be when the shadow of hate and crime, deadly knocking my life, and mountains laughing at I. It is a lonely state indeed, empty space for sure. I found relief in letting, casting all to him, the executor of his testament. I have been there. There will be no next time, Mr. Stan and the listeners of VMC Planet Radio. We are in the business of one time, reaching beyond the impossible. I am thankful to God I am thankful to those through whom I came into this world, because today I can say I always push myself to the next level of greatness in the rarefied atmosphere of his best. Thank you, Mr. Stan. Thank you, listeners of VMC. Thank you, professionals. Thank you, my friends, colleagues, and compatriots, for this opportunity and platform.
Thank you so very much. You are welcome, Dr. Faith Tobakale Raduvha. There will be no next time. We are in the business of one time reaching beyond the impossible. That is very profound, Dr. Tobakale Raduvha. We are so very grateful that you can always join us around this time and recite a poem for us and also give us a motivation. Thank you so very much. We really appreciate it.
You are welcome, Mr. Stan. I'm truly thankful also for the opportunity.